What's going on, everyone? I am just a typical, average American here today to react to something that the Prime Minister of Norway said very recently at a summit in Oslo, where he was actually asked about the United States conflict with Iran. And, to be honest, here in the US, we definitely don't tend to think about how our actions will affect other people and other countries. And I think that the United States bombing Iran is the perfect example of that, right? So today, I really want to take a look at this, and I'm very interested in hearing an outside point of view and hearing the Norwegian perspective on all this. So let's take a look.
My question is on the war situation in Iran and the Middle East. I ask, it's in principle to all of you prime ministers. Have you discussed or reached a Nordic-Canadian alignment regarding how to end this war? And what are your respective countries' analysis and contributions to such a solution?
Whoa! Thoughts on how to end it? Well, that's going to be difficult to do because, honestly, one of the biggest criticisms, even here in the United States, a lot of Americans are unhappy about this whole thing because it has not been made clear at all how this is supposed to end, or what the plan is, or what victory even looks like, or it's kind of a mess. So yeah, thankfully, I think a lot of Americans are very critical of this whole decision here in the U.S. So. But what does the Nordic countries think? What does Norway think?
Or whose war is this really?
Well, I think we are not part of this war.
Oh,
we
wow.
did not initiate it, but we are all affected by it. So I think there's a clear call here that international law must be respected, and it should be the responsibility of the concerned parties to find ways of ending the hostilities that now have great impact around the world.
Absolutely. Wow. And very eloquent. Man, is this what it's like having a leader that's like actually competent and like well-spoken? And I've kind of forgotten what that's like since we've had Donald Trump, obviously. Yeah, anyway, that would be nice, but that makes a lot of sense to me. A lot of sense. Because, for one thing, the United States, like, from what I understand, this was all a surprise, even for us Americans, that we were suddenly bombing Iran. Apparently, it was a total surprise for all of our allies. Like, we are being a terrible ally, terrible member of NATO. We're not telling anyone what we're doing. We're not. This was all like a surprise, and it has such huge, massive consequences, just like the Prime Minister of Norway said. Such massive consequences for so many people. And absolutely, like, I don't take any offense when he says this is not his war. I totally understand that, and I think that's how a lot of countries around the world. It's funny because Trump has been asking a lot of countries for help, and basically everyone is saying no. And then he says, we don't need your help, like the next minute. So anyway, this response doesn't shock me. This seems like an appropriate reaction, actually.
We are concerned to see that there is still an escalation. There are still worries about how the world economy will be affected by the energy situation around the Gulf. For our part, we will use any channel we have, any opportunity we have to urge the parties to find a way that will not escalate this war. I think that's what we can say. It is not our war.
It is not our war. Wow. Norway, like a lot of countries, is an ally of the United States, but I don't think, I think that's totally reasonable, because it's like, I don't think we even really know why we are at war with Iran. I mean, the U.S. government will say because Iran is a nuclear threat and all that stuff, and obviously Iran genuinely has committed crimes against humanitarian crimes and how it treats people, but this, yeah, it's honestly really valuable to hear the Norwegian Prime Minister's point of view on this whole thing, because it kind of reinforces what a lot of Americans are thinking, I think. And it's also interesting hearing him talk about de-escalation. Is that what most people around the world want at this point? Just because in the US, Donald Trump and our government will not, they've made it pretty clear they will not stop until we win. But nobody knows what winning really looks like. Complete and total surrender. Iran is not going to do an unconditional surrender to ever. So it's what? So that's crazy and concerning. And there's no talks of de-escalation here in the U.S., even though it's very clear that's what our allies want.
It seems to us that the plan for how it will develop is pretty unclear. And that's the danger with initiating wars, that they rarely follow a script.
Yes, and I have a question.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you want to see how crazy this has gotten, have you ever taken a look at the White House Twitter? Some of the stuff that they've been posting? The official White House U.S. government is posting videos like this. Is this, check this out. This is supposed to be funny. Can you believe this? Can you actually, this is what we're dealing with. And I think the outrage, this is supposed to be funny or something, making light of the United States bombing and killing people. It's making it into a joke, or... So this is not the only example of this, by the way. If you look at the White House Twitter, and this is just, so I think this kind of stuff is waking up a lot of Americans who are kind of not quite sure how they feel about Donald Trump and the government and this kind of stuff and all the stuff that we've done in the last year, certainly culminating right now in this military attack on Iran and just the total chaos of what's going on right now, and basically how poorly we've handled this situation is waking up a lot of Americans. I think it's pretty clear hearing from the Prime Minister of Norway how he feels about this whole situation, and that's probably a pretty representative of how a lot of Norwegians and Nordic people feel. So yeah, I just wanted to take a look at that and get an idea about well, at least what Norway is thinking about this whole thing, and it makes a lot of sense. It's very troubling, but it's always very valuable to hear these sort of these opinions and these points of view, these outside points of view from outside the U.S. So this was good to take a look at. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on this whole situation. And especially if you're Norwegian or outside the United States, it'd be very valuable to hear your perspective on what the U.S. is doing in Iran right now. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and Norwegian things that I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.